there! Welcome back to my beginner series. You can see that we are here at the zombie spawner again. I'm just collecting up a little levels for a little bit of enchanting while I wait for some things to kind of brew for today's episode. Yes, yes. And it is going to be one soft and sweet ride all the way through. If you're new here, I'd really appreciate a comment on anything I'm doing well or anything I'm doing poorly, as well as a subscription if you plan on coming back. That would be amazing and fantastic. But today I made some promises for yesterday, and we're going to get ourselves into the world of honey and wool. And some of it, I haven't really decided what I'm ultimately going to do design wise, which is a little bit of a problem for us. But it's not going to be a long term. I do know what I want to do with the sheep long term, and in order to get what I want for the sheep, I need to make the farm first, and then I'm going to move it ultimately into another location. As for the honey, I need the honey to build the design that I want. So today we're just going to get the farms functional, and we are going to make sure that we can start collecting things nice and passively without much effort at all so that we can do what we need. Now, while I'm down here, I do have some stuff that I'm going to need. And that comes in the form of glass for our honey. All right, now you can see I can make a whole bunch of bottles. 3 pieces of glass makes 3 bottles. And while I can make a bunch more, I'm going to start small and work my way up on the bottles. Glass is, at this point, still a little expensive. I've gone wandering and searching, and I still haven't found a good desert or anything like that to be able to mine whole bunches of that sand out yet. And I don't want to ruin my local landscape, so we're stuck with just small amounts of glass that I've harvested off of some small beaches not too far away and a few things like that. Um, but we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a fun time today. Fortunately, sheep are probably in the easy top 10 easiest farms to set up. It does require a trip to the nether, which we've already accomplished to get just a little bit of nether quartz. We're going to need some cobblestone, a little bit of redstone and stuff to be able to make that. But way up there where our amethyst is, I've excavated a huge area to start collecting some of those resources and recoup some of our diminished stockpile from when we built our melon and pumpkin farm, which is doing fantastic, by the way. I've got a whole barrel of bone blocks and a whole barrel of melons and pumpkins and a bunch of other stuff. So we're starting to do really good on our item collection. Getting the inside of this finished should be very doable here in the next episode or two. One thing I still need to figure out how I'm going to go about collecting my nether woods, this nice green and this red over here, which you can see is spreading as the zombies get slaughtered. Uh, Apparently they have red, glowing, pulsing blood. Which is probably going to be very, very concerning for Professor Applecure once we get him down here and set up. But with that, I'm going to collect a couple more levels, do just a little bit of enchanting, and we'll get to it. Starting with the sheep farm. And welcome back up to the house, where we're about to get cracking on our sheep farm. Unfortunately, this section of the video's audio just completely corrupted. Nothing I could do to try to save it. So I'm going to explain what I was trying to when I recorded it. And one of the first things I wanted to go over is I did sidestep something here just a little bit. I went back down to the Nether and I collected up a few things to help me start doing some of this faster. Inventory control is one of the hardest things to handle early on in the game. And in order to get around that, I ended up running off to a nether fortress. And when I did that, I was there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to grab myself a couple of blaze rods. And the reason I need them is so that I can make myself a couple of ender chests so I can more quickly move items around and do things a little bit faster here. So let's see. We're going to need the blaze rods there. And you guys know where I got some of these ender pearls. You just kill the endermen. I don't have looting on my sword yet, so this is literally all that I have. But we're going to craft those up, and then we're going to take our obsidian along with that, and that's going to make us ender chests, which we can use to bring stuff uh, with us anywhere. It's a safe chest. So wherever I place one down, I can access whatever is in my ender chest inventory anywhere in the world. I do need Silk Touch in order to pick it back up, so it's pretty much permanently there unless I grab my Silk Touch pick, which I do have one stashed away in my valuables. I'm going to put one down at the zombie spawner and one down at the fishing hut. Hopefully I'll be able to craft up a few more of these in the near future. As for my trip into the Nether, I do have footage of that, and we'll cover that again here in a couple of episodes after we get some of these farms up and running. I've got another fortress and a bastion that I found. All I went into really fast was that Nether fortress, and literally I grabbed 3 blaze rods and I was right back out of there. The bastion, I know where it's at, but I haven't touched it. I haven't made any roadway to get there. So that's going to be a great and exciting thing. But with that, I think that it's about time that we go ahead and start working on our sheep farm. Oh, yeah, and you know what? I'll just store those there in my valuables chest for good measure. So we only really need a few things to get this going. And that's going to involve a basic collection system like we put up in the melon farm, as well as some dispensers, observers, and redstone. So I already dug this area out just a little bit to give me a place to put this farm. And as you can see, I was rudely interrupted by a villager trader here. Um, and he's selling cactus. That's actually part of why I wanted to go to a desert, is I want cactus for a few things that I've got hopefully planned. We'll see. I'm still not using the seed to find any of this stuff, so I'm going in completely blind. But anyway, this storage system is going to be real basic like we've seen before. And we're going to need our hopper, uh, some chests, which I had obviously forgotten to grab here, so gonna run off and craft up way more than I need, but you can never have enough chests, so that's fine. We'll just turn, most of a stack of wood into chests here real quick. Um, and we'll be good to go. All right. Yeah, some chests. Always, always inventory issues with this thing. Um, I plan this stuff. I swear. I swear. I know what I'm doing. I'm good at. Okay, fine. I'm not good at inventory management. I never will be good at inventory management. And that just is really the way that it is. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna come over here. We're gonna plop down our chests, put a hopper facing into it, like we um, did over at the melon farm. And that's going to be the base for our collection system. And we're going to put in a powered rail right here. And hold that shift when you right click so that it goes down right. And I'll throw a lever on here later. As you can see, I don't have one on me and I don't feel like crafting one up, but we already know how that works. So that's not a big deal. And we'll throw our rails all the way down to the end here where we will then ultimately put another powered rail. And then we'll, throw in a switch and all of that, which will get us going on the collection system. We're going to use our hopper minecart. And man, this guy was really asking for it. Like, had he stuck around and stayed in this hole on me, I would have ended up slaying him so quick and so fast. But anyway, craft up our hopper minecart, and we'll just go ahead and throw it on the rail. It'll launch once we add some power to that. All right, to make this work, we're going to need a few things. One, we're going to need grass blocks. And as you can see, mine already has grass on it. And that's because I used a Silk Touch tool to dig it up. If you don't have Silk Touch yet, you don't have to worry about it. As long as you can connect the grass or the block where you want your grass to grow to other grass with a long chain of dirt, grass spreads, which is actually how this farm is going to know what's going on with it. But you can get it to spread naturally. I just grabbed a couple of them. I also grabbed some netherwort at the nether fortress. But don't worry, we will go over that here in a couple of episodes. But anyway, so we've got that, and we want to see when this updates because when the sheep eat, it'll take the grass off of it, turn it into a dirt block. So we're going to put down our observer like we used to see what was happening with the pumpkins and melons. So when the sheep eat it, it'll turn into dirt. They'll regrow their wool, and our system here will automatically shear them for us. And in order to accomplish that, we're going to need to put down two more things. One, our dispenser. And we're going to put that right on top of our observer here with the face pointing out towards us. That's the direction that it's going to do what it does. And then we're going to build a wall around this so that our sheep stay where I put them. You'll see I actually realized later that this was a stupid design. I need the grass to spread, so I can't just completely block this off like this. Um, but I'll talk about that here later. The rest of this is perfectly fine as is, though. And here I was flip-flopping. I was like, oh, we should be nice to the sheep. But no, I need them to stay in place so that they do what I want them to do where I want them to do it. So they're going to get stuck up with our slight modification to this later, but in that one block space. Okay. Now, the way that our observer is going to be able to tell our dispenser what's going on is going to be with that redstone dust. But I'm going to need shears for it to be able to do it. Let me go grab some iron from the chest real quick. And you can see I'm doing a little better. I'm up to a little over half a stack of iron blocks worth of iron now. So I can do some of these machining things. It's still a struggle getting enough of it this early in the game, but that's fine. But if you right click on your dispenser, you can drop whatever you want in it. So we just crafted up some shears and we went ahead and put them in there. You can fill up that entire space. It is going to take durability. Now, put in your redstone dust. So what's going to happen here is the observer is going to see the block in front of this update when the sheep eats it. And that's going to power this dirt block underneath the redstone here, which will then tell the dispenser, since it's touching right there, that it's time to do whatever it's set up to do. In this case, shear the sheep. And it'll shear the sheep, they'll drop their wool, and that will ultimately end up getting picked up by this collection system we've got down below. Once we have it powered, the minecart rail will go back and forth, and that'll pick everything up, just like we have going on over there with our pumpkin farm. So we'll be able to automatically harvest as much of this as we want in all kinds of different colors too. I just got to dye the sheep As you can see, I've got a couple of them down there already. But anyway, this pretty much is the system all said and done. I'm going to go gather up some sheep at this point and fill up the pen, get everything rolling for us so that we can have this up and running today and collecting all of the fantastic multicolored rainbow of wool that we're probably going to need. Okay, as I was setting this up, I had a realization. Grass has to be able to spread for this farm to work. The cobblestone, not going to work. So I went ahead and threw in some fences here. As you can see, I've got my observers in place. And one way you can tell if you're using just the vanilla stuff and not a visual mod pack, how the observer is going to behave if it's underground like this, the arrow points into the direction that it's going to power something when it sees an update, and it looks for the update on the opposite side of the block. Now, one thing I wanted to show you actually, dispensers. Probably the most annoying thing in all of Minecraft to craft. Um, because you need bows in order to make them, right? So if I click, I can make 8 bows at the same time. Not that big a deal. But bows do not stack, right? So if I come over to my dispenser, I can shift right click. It'll only let me make 1 dispenser at a time. Uh, which is really annoying. I didn't count how many I actually need. But anyway, it's something worth mentioning. Now, I just crafted those up. I have those spider spawners down in the cave where I can go to get more string if I need it. Though I haven't actually used them yet. Oh, huh. Lucky day. So that was 6. So that means I need successive shears. So I can get as much string as I want, need, anything like that. And that'll work out really well. But the other thing I was going to say, my fishing farm does occasionally make bows, as we know, because that's how I got the bow that I'm currently using. I combined a bunch of them together. Now, I've got a few of them upstairs. And this is a way you can kind of cheap out on this a little bit. You can, let's see, where are they? Let's just grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 of them. Okay, so we can come up to our grindstone, which I talked about a while back, and I can put bows in there and combine them and disenchant enchanted bows that are just whatever. Actually, you know what? When I need to replace my bow, you'll be good. Okay. Boom. Boom. Jeez. Boom. Oh, I don't know if Curse of Vanish... Will it let me use a Curse of Vanishing bow to do this? Yes, it will. Okay, but I can combine bows that way to save myself. If we had set up the skeleton spawner instead of the zombies, they also drop a lot of bows. So it's a really good way to get a lot of them without having to harvest the sticks and the string. So you got some options there. Also, if/when we get around to building a mob drop, which will drop zombies, skeletons, creepers, and spiders, we'll be able to collect all of their drops passively anyway. So that's going to work out really well for us. I don't know where I'm going to put it. By the way, say hi to my new traveling friends. As I was exploring, I've been fishing up saddles as I do my fishing. So I've got way more saddles than I need. So I've got these guys. The reason they're, or the way that they're tied up, I should say, a lead, which you can get if one of our wandering traders has an accident when he's pulling his llamas, or you can actually combine a string with a slime ball, which is stupid expensive, isn't it, Mr. Donkey? Well, at least for right now. We're going to build slime farm here very soon. Slime farm, iron farm, definitely on the agenda for the next couple of days. All of that. But you can make a lead, and once you have the lead in your hand, you can right-click an animal and use that lead to pull them around. But the other thing is, when you're pulling them around, if you come up to, there's different blocks. I know fence posts is one of them. I think there's some other stuff. And oh, we're gonna get in there before long. But it'll tie them off to your fence posts so that they don't wander around, and you don't have to build a little corral for them. Although I am gonna build a proper stable for these guys, very, very near future. Oh, also, thing with the donkey. I've got a chest on him, as you can see. This is like really early game expanded storage. So if I shift or hold shift and right click, it'll open up his inventory. I can actually store stuff inside of my donkey. So it's not a lot, it's just 15 slots of space, which doesn't accumulate that much per se, but you know, with that extra 15 slots, an entire inventory with my ender chests and my own inventory, I can move around a lot of stuff pretty quickly, fairly early game. So we got that. But anyway, I'm going to craft up some shears, get these filled up, move the sheep in here, and then we'll get to see this puppy in action. All right, I'm starting to get this set up, and I thought I should show you this. Sheep do not like to go in one block holes. Oops. Can I boop you in there? Nope. All right. And because of that, we actually have to kind of force them into this farm here. All right, so I'm leading him around with the wheat like I've shown you before. I'm going to lead him onto this block right above where I want him in the farm. And then I'm going to come around to the side here so he's looking at me. And I'm just going to walk up to him. I'm going to give him a quick boop, boop, boop. Okay, normally that works. Okay, we'll try this one more time. Hey, come here, guy. Over here. Over here. So I want him on that block. All right. So he's basically there. Now, if I hold shift, this will actually work a little better. I can give him a little boop. Boop, 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 boop. He's still looking at me. All right, a little boop, boop. As soon as he falls off the edge, as long as I line this up right, which isn't too hard, yeah, he'll fall right down in there. All right, I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more sheep to go, and we will get this fired up to start collecting our wool. All right, we got our sheep all penned up, and our system is starting to collect a little bit of wool. So right now I have 1 black sheep in here, who's this guy. And then I've got a bunch of white sheep, right? But I don't want a lot of that. So I'm going to color some of them, some different colors here. So I can just right click it with some dye that I've made. And now I have red and yellow in here as well. Now, collecting flowers, depending on where you're at, might be a pain. And one thing you can do is take some of the bone meal that we created. And every now and then you'll get some flowers. Now, I don't know everything that grows in this area, but I do know red and yellow do. And let's see, let's do another yellow. Let's do another red. Then we can combine them together to get us some orange. So let's see. We're going to have to be quick now that we've got this set up. Or I can just take the shears out, actually. But anyway, I'm going to craft up a couple different colors to start collecting this wool. and everything's done and dusted. But let's see if any of these guys eat. Well, wait here for just a minute. You'll see as soon as they do, it creates a dirt block under them. This guy can eat here soon. So can this guy. And when they eat, there we go. They get their wool back. This machine auto shears it. And our hopper with minecart setup that we have down here goes back and forth and brings us our much desired wool. Now this red guy, he will eat eventually, so I don't actually have to prime this. But if I wanted to get things kicked off just a little bit faster, I can come in, I can manually shear them, and they'll get hungry faster that way. But yeah, anyway, if you need to change colors and stuff, you can actually come up to your dispenser, just take out your shears, and then there will be nothing to trim them with. So when the machine fires off, it will just keep going as it is. Now, we have obviously our exposed dispenser, but I covered everything else up to make this easier to walk on, get the sheep in. Like I said, this is a temporary farm anyway, but it's only been running a couple minutes, and I'm already starting to collect a good little bit of these blocks, which actually have another benefit, which we'll get into in a little while, still several episodes down the road. But villagers. Your number of villagers that you can have in an area is proportional to the number of beds that they see are occupiable. So every villager claims a bed. As you can see, we got, a few of them running around down here, doing all of their stuff. And they actually... Oh, what? Okay, hold on. We're just going to take care of this right now. In fact, I'll show you something cool as well. When I kill him, I should have gotten Bad Omen. Yeah, you can see it's up here. All right, now let me think. Where do I have... I've got some buckets over here. And we've got cows. So Bad Omen, you do not want to go into a village that you like while you have it on you. It will trigger a raid, and you'll get several waves of those guys with some Ravagers, with some Invokers, and all kinds of stuff. But one of the ways you can clear status effects, and this will come in relevant for some things, is with a bucket of milk. So if we get a bucket, right-click a cow, we drink it, and now our status effect is gone. We're all better. So something mildly useful for you since it was on my mind. Yeah, slight flaw in the farm. I'm going to have to build up my fences just a little taller to compensate for that. Let's see. Jungle fences. I got jungle logs. Oop. And jungle fences. I don't think that's enough. In fact, I know that's not enough, but whatever. We'll just build this up taller. All right, I'll craft up a few more of those. But anyway, that is sheep auto collection done and dusted. Isn't that right, Mr. Sheep? Huh? Yeah? Oh, and I keep picking these up occasionally as I walk by. But anyway, with that, let's go ahead and get on to bees, which I have hidden up there. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to show you how to manually farm them today. And tomorrow, the redstone it's not bad, but it is a little more complicated than this. I mean, you really don't get simpler than 2 components, a piece of redstone dust, and voila, magically it works. So let me swap out some inventory stuff, and we'll start heading up in that direction. Okay, as I'm out collecting my beehives and my bees to get my honey farm going, I've come across some already. You can see I've got a handful of hives. One of them has at least one bee in it. I'm not sure. I know two of them do not, due to mistakes being made. I did not get bees inside of them. But I've come across another one, and I figure it's a good time to talk about a little bit of the bee mechanics that you need to be aware of. The bees, and you can see there's a few flying around, do not like you messing with their stuff. And that would include using shears on the hive to collect honeycomb. It's not a problem if you have a machine do it. If you do it yourself, they will get mad, they will get angry-eyed, and they will come back and try to attack you. Which is whatever, but they'll sting you, and after they sting you, they die. So you don't want to kill the bees, otherwise you won't have anything to produce honey for you. And the same happens if you use a bottle on this. You'll see, and I'll show this off later. Oh, there we go. See how I just put that fire down? The smoke from it calms the bees down. And I saw two bees go in there, so I know I've got at least two bees. But if I hadn't put that fire down and I went after the hive, they would have been mad. And that would not have been good. Now, I've got a different number of bees in here than I've got in here than I've got in here. So I probably have 3 bees and 5 hives, which is perfectly okay for what I'm doing because I will breed my bees up once I get my setup going. But as long as I've got 2 bees, I'm good. You can breed them with flowers. Oh, treasure. We like treasure. Hello, treasure. Junk, 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 junk. Yeah, iron's almost tempting. I have other things I'm worried about today. So we're not gonna worry too much about that. But since we're on the subject, you have to have a silk touch tool to collect those hives as well. Otherwise, they'll just shatter. If you get honeycomb, you can manufacture your own hives. But another nice thing about Silk Touch, I can get these mushroom blocks now. And I've already collected some red and some brown mushrooms, which I can use to just grow more mushroom. So I don't have any kind of farm set up or anything like that for that yet. But it's going to give me some more building block options like I talked about in the last episode. Um, anyway, really? Well, I'll go check that out. But I'm going to start heading my way back to my base here. Maybe pick up a few more hives. Aesthetically speaking, I do prefer the yellow hives to the manufactured ones. So I am going to collect a few more of those out in the wild. But anyway, we will get to cracking on that honey and honeycomb farm here in just a little bit. Alrighty, we are up here with the bees. You can see I've already done a little collecting, crafted up a couple of the blocks that we're going to be able to get from these guys. And I've been slowly harvesting some stuff just so we have a little bit to talk about right off the bat. One thing, the honey block. Okay, you actually need glass bottles to collect honey, and you can combine those together in a little 2x2 square here, and you can make yourself honey blocks, which is going to be just excellent. And then you do get the bottles back, so you don't have to worry about crafting them over and over and over again. And let's see, put that in our inventory. Now, the other thing you can make is honeycomb, and that is this little 4x4 grid of the honeycomb that you can get. All right, now, one of the cool things about honey, I don't know if you can tell there, but it makes me fall slower when I'm sliding down the side of it. So you can actually make cool little, like fireman's poles and stuff out of it. All right, so we got that. Now the other thing that we can make, we're going to need some wood and some more of our honeycomb. We can make artificial beehives, right? And that takes 6 of our planks. It doesn't matter what tree they come from. And boom, we have a beehive. Now you can see there's a slot right here. That slot is the side that the bees are going to come out of when they wake up during the day. And pro tip, if you're going to be moving and transporting bees, a lot of times the easiest time to do it is at night because they go to sleep. And they work on a day-night cycle. Because of that, there's actually a pretty good argument to be made that if you want this to be as efficient as humanly possible, you should build it in the end where there is no day and night. It's just technically day all the time. Slippy slidey. But anyway, we've got that. Let's see. Actually, I want to get a couple more flowers here as well. Boop, 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 boop. Flower. All right. So the reason I'm actually gathering flowers, you need flowers to breed bees. As long as you can get 2 bees back to where you're going, you can always make more. As long as you don't, do something really dumb and kill them, which is possible. Let's see. Boom. All right, that should be enough flowers for now. So we're gonna breed up a couple of them. The baby bees are actually one of like the most stupid, adorable critters in this whole game too. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Donkey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I promise. I'm sorry. It's okay. Good donkey. All right. So let's get that bone meal out the way. And that. And you know what? Oh, honeysuckle and melon. Oh, yes. And we'll top it off. You can actually eat honey as well to restore some of your health. I understand it's not one of the good food sources, but we'll see. So anyway, I've got this set up with some hives already in here. And they've already filled up with honey. Now, I've got this double door thing going on here because bees like to fly around. And you see we got a couple of them here. And they can escape. So by having them locked up, we're going to be good and golden. Now, hives, you can see they're saturated with honey. All of these are except this guy here and these 3 in the corner. Probably because I don't have enough bees right now. I have no idea how many are in here at the moment. I haven't been keeping track as I breed, but we can right-click them with the flowers, just like we do wheat with cows and all that. And then we get little baby bumblebees. The flowers are in here. They're actually important. The bees will come and collect pollen from these flowers, which they then bring back to their hive. Now, you'll see I have campfires down here and trapdoors in front of them. One thing I discovered very quickly, bees are about as intelligent as villagers. So the moment I put down my first hive in this building, one of these bees decided he was going to go straight for the campfire. I only brought back like 3 or 4 bees. I wasn't sure how many I actually had. So I instantly panicked and I came in, just boom, assortment of trapdoors. This building is temporary, so I wasn't too worried about the aesthetics. But anyway, so we can collect honey out of these in 2 ways. One with the shears. When we right-click it, we get our honeycomb. And 2, let's do this here. We get honey bottles, which we can combine into honey blocks. Let's see, how many honey bottles do I have? 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll get 2 more honey blocks that way. And the reason they're not attacking me right now is because of these campfires. It's putting smoke up through the hives, and they're all good and happy. All right. How many? Oh, I got some more yellow flowers. Ew. Who hasn't had a baby yet? Have you had? No baby yet? Okay. So we're going to keep breeding these guys up so that I've got a whole bunch of them in all of these different hives. Okay, so airlock, you guys stay in there, and we're good. So if all you need is a little bit of honey or a little bit of honeycomb for your needs, what I've got here is already more than enough for you. I am going to need a lot of honey blocks someday because they're actually really useful in flying machines. Honey blocks do not stick to slime blocks, but they stick to everything else. So you can make some really interesting redstone machines because of them not sticking together. It makes it easy to compact things close together and a whole bunch of stuff like that, which will come in relevant way, way, way in the future when I finally decide to take this world all the way up to genuine endgame. But with that, it has been real and fun. I'm glad that we're starting to get some of our farms in order and starting to kind of automatically collect a handful of those blocks. Adding, what, 2 more completely unique ones to the arsenal, and we'll have that fully functional tomorrow. And then, as many different colors of wool as we want. I mean, technically that's only one texture, but that's one texture with every color in the game that you can get dye for, which is a whole bunch. Short term, I'm going to be rotating through a bunch of different colors. But at the moment, this is what I'm currently working with, color scheme-wise. And I'm actually going to come back in. I'm going to add a second powered rail under this row right here. As you can see, I've got floating blocks. I'm losing stuff. I don't like losing stuff. It's not that big a deal. But we're already starting to get a lot of wool really quickly. So this is a quick, efficient, magical, fantastic farm that will provide us with all kinds of goodies that we need for many, 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 well, all the time to come. And for now, in case I need a whole bunch of one color for something special and this hasn't done it, I'm going to go ahead and leave the sheep alone. Same thing I'm doing with the cows, more or less. I actually am still getting friendly donations from them occasionally. Oh, right, pillager. I forgot about him. Still need to pacify that guy. For my food needs, although with the honey there, it doesn't give me saturation, so I have to eat it a lot, and that's a just weird thing. Some food sticks with you better in this game than others, but steak does. And until I get up to golden carrots, I'm probably going to stick to steak for the time being. Although, you know, oh no, that's going to be a few episodes down still. I was going to say I'm going to show you how to automatically harvest as much wheat and beetroot as your little heart could desire in the near future as well, which will give us automatic hay bales. We just have to craft them up. So we're already getting pretty close to that. I just need to find some villager volunteers to come help us out with building everything. But anyway, it's been real. It's been fun. I appreciate you joining me. And I look forward to seeing you once again tomorrow.